Hello, Uta here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel. I'm just catching up on sleep at home now for a while, and I will be heading down to be with my dear Claes for more of his chemotherapy. Everything is going really well. I'm quite optimistic, actually, about winning, about us winning. Okay. Um, a lovely trans widow, whom I will call Siggy, which is a uh, Viking shield maiden name. Um, she contacted me with a beautiful poem about her experience, and I'm so grateful to every trans widow who gets in touch with me. So, this is going to be our poetry episode for a while. I will also read you my poem, which is in the beginning of my memoir, In the Curated Woods True Tales from a Grass Widow, published by iUniverse in softcover and ebook form, available to read on Kindle or in softcover. Here it is, yes, um, with 50 in both forms, 50 of my nature photographs. So uh, we do find that there is healing in writing and healing in nature. And for me, it's now the fall gardening chores. Pretty soon I'll be digging up the dahlia bulbs and getting them ready for storage in their packing in the basement. Uh, and I do love the season. I love wearing all the warm clothes and feeling the cooler air. All right. Um, I think it's uh, spelled Lead. The title Lead Astray. It's Not Okay. Um, and yeah, it's very similar to the way I write, and thank you so much, Siggy. She thought she knew him. She thought he was real. Had a paraphilia. How else could she feel? His fake blue eyes said, "Let's row upon the horizon. I want to be with you." She thought he wasn't lying. He said, "Let's make a deal. I'll dress in women's clothes. We'll keep it to ourselves, and nobody has to know." Everything seemed right. No arguments or fights, until she had to think when he kicked their kitten across the room and stabbed pop cans in the sink. He had a little boy, and the trauma bond was tight. She stayed and thought her decision was justified and right. Then the day came where that strip turned blue. Little one was on the way. 7 months after she gave birth, he told her he was gay. When one's unsure of who they are and when they lead astray, the trust and love is torn apart. Betrayal and heartache. Babies in the jumperoo to learn and grow and play. Dads sitting with mommy. And Mimi's in dismay. For Daddy just told Mimi, I think Mimi is also a nickname for mommy here. For Daddy just told Mimi of the secret that he's gay. He turns to put his hand upon Mommy's lap and say that he has her to thank for it, the lies, moral decay. As she was packing up her things, he turned to her and said, "I wish we had just one more time to have some fun in bed." With no response and anger in her heart, she felt betrayed. Then they had left to get some diapers for their little babe, and in the grocer's parking lot, he just wanted to mention, "Things could have been much easier if you were a lesbian." 2 weeks went by. She had moved out. He said, "Let's try again." She told him, "I don't think so. Be a father. Stay a friend." He found another woman with 2 daughters of her own. This lady knew the secrets, but still moved them into his home. When one's unsure of who they are, and when they lead astray, the trust and love is torn apart, betrayal and heartache. He had his boys for access time. In secret he was grooming, wearing dresses, painting nails, the dangers, they were looming. And when her boy came home to her to tell her that what his dad had done, she tried to ask for help, but sadly, there was none. 6 months down the road, with no future known, in lack of render, he made his way to tell the world that he was now transgender. She tried, resolve through medial party to follow up, and yet he never came. And tears she cried for days and days, knowing her boy would never be the same. Did Daddy die? Where has he gone? Does he love me? Does he care? Why has he gone away from me, and why isn't he there? The kids at school are making cards for all their daddies now. Why am I the only one who seems so singled out? Then Mimi came to push the court for access once a month, and both the boys, they had to go. More damage there was done. So maybe Mimi is his new name. I'm sorry, my dear Siggy, if I'm interpreting it wrong. When one's unsure of who they are and when they lead astray, the trust and love is torn apart, betrayal and heartache. The schools have now been littered with inclusion in its wake. The parents have been silenced, keeping secrets still remain. And still she cries out for this boy who will never be the same. This movement now, it has begun. Speak up, be brave and say, no longer are we silenced. Rooted in this, we will stay. Our voices sound like thunder, even shaking in our wake, and truth be told, our womanhood and children you won't take. Yes. Oh, I also wanted to show you the seeded pink asters, which of course I will cut off these top parts and toss around into the meadow and into my mini prairie, hoping that they will seed and grow next year. I had good luck with doing the same last year. Now, my poem, which is called People Ask. People ask me, when it comes up, what it was like being married to a man who said, I, a woman. Old name, dead name, not me. I didn't. Watched, thought, maybe, not. It's beyond me to understand, though I tried. And my advice to our dear sisters in trans widowhood is when you answer even just 5 at a time of the survey, 20 questions to ask a trans widow, or if you answer all 20 and send them back to me, be sure that you make a plan of what you are going to do after in order to get all of that out of your mind and behind you. I am very, very committed to keeping our data. Now, one last thing is that I cannot make even nice supportive comments on any YouTube videos. There was one where I simply said, sort of as a test, I haven't commented in maybe 5 days because I was notified that my comments violate community guidelines. And I don't understand because I was commenting under gender critical videos. But I must have been found by some high-tech Nettie type, Nettie being the pen name for my ex-husband. And so I think I'm being kind of shadowed and followed. And I wrote back saying my comment was great points. I'm subscribed. And that got that response of I'm violating community guidelines. So, uh, I will very much appreciate your comments. I want to know from you if any of you are getting this kind of feedback from YouTube. I'm going to look into backing up everything on the channel at Rumble, but as you know, I'm very busy going back and forth between here and Clace as he goes through the chemotherapy. Um, his first few days after the first one have gone well, and whatever auxiliary medicines he's on to help with the side effects seem to be effective. So I'm quite hopeful. And yes, now later on, I think I will try to do something about the Dr. Dorte Glintborg research. I posted it, my comments at utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com. And that has gotten quite a few views. I think we're over 30 now on that. And do go to my blog, utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com, which is almost always in the notes. I'll put it there on this one. And you can put comments there. It's somewhere down on the bottom. Um, it's I have a lot of research data, the type of research which has statistically significant subject numbers, and also analysis of um, the Dutch studies from 2014, for example, with De Vries, Martinius et al., where it has to be exposed that actually they're basing these Dutch protocol theories on only 32 subjects who answered their exit surveys. There are many, many methodological problems with that, and it is regarded around the world as the justification for giving children gonadotrophin agonists, which are also called puberty blockers. All right. I think you will get a really great feeling from uh, putting some comments in magazines and books and putting them out in places anonymously.